And you were like, it was just so
that's who they were. Also, it's really
I think everybody's got their placements at this point, have you not? Is anybody still not? Tess is not? I got an email yesterday. She's still questioning whether or not that's what that was. And I got back to her. She was not that, yes, whether or not. And Tess, do you have a chat? Your English, you should have been easy.
Yeah, just my cousin still.
And Mark got one yesterday. Everybody else is You're right.
Yeah, it was just.
Hey Bailey, let us know if we can't, or if you can't hear us, okay? Okay. Awesome.
Yes and no.
So most of you have started out in your placements. Things are going good, things are going weird, questions that have arisen. Everybody's on the same page. Very cool. How did Monday go? Good. Kids react to 9/11 the way you wanted them to?
None of them were born during
Right.
the event, so it was quite a bit of storytelling about that day.
Okay.
But I had them do some low-risk writing, and it seemed like, cause I kind of sorted out, like, did they really understand?
Right.
I really did it, and the understand pile was a lot bigger.
Very cool. I wonder if going forward, their Benghazi will be our 9/11. Our 9/11 was my parents' Kennedy and stuff like that. I'm curious what the future will hold.
We related it to Sandy Hook.
Oh.
I don't remember that.
Sandy Hook was just a big fake, though. I'm a conspiracy theorist. Well, I'll read them. I love them.
Watch Zeitgeist on Netflix.
Zeitgeist? Do that. There you go.
If 1% of that movie is true, Wall Street.
You should have been in class yesterday. We had our first explosion.
Who?
Well,
The lady?
no. So he took his computer and he turned it around and he said, "Screw you!" And then he just went on that tirade, which is hilarious. When you see it in action and it's the first time, it will shock you. It will. It will freak you all out. Like, oh my God, what did I do? And you just stay calm. That's all you can do. He knew his behavior was bad. He knew that he had handled it wrong. He apologized shortly thereafter. And then you get sucked up to for like the next 20 minutes or so, which is always kind of nice. But yeah. And it's frustration. And when you sit there and you think about it, so he was doing something that was outside of his comfort zone. It's homecoming week. Their schedules are really weird. He's a freshman. He has no idea what's going on in school. All of those things kind of go to that really big perfect storm kind of a thing. So, how would you have handled it?
So I don't really know.
Probably would have handled it the same way I handled Thursday. Kind of not at all.
Avoidance.
Remember Thursday, I couldn't keep attention.
Right.
He was thinking around his computer a whole bunch. I just showed my dad a second.
Yeah, and that's kind of what you have to do. Is choose your battles. The language has to be dealt with. Obviously, he can't say screw you to a teacher. Don't try that in here either. You're adults, right? But that's what you deal with first, and then you always have to be constantly aware of what's going on. And he was giving small signs. Can you just tell me what we have to do? Can we just get on with it? Those kinds of things. You could tell his frustration from the very beginning, and then you have to know how far you can push him. pushed. I don't think I pushed too far, but he thought I did. So those are going to happen at some point in your next 7 months. You're going to have a student who loses their temper, either at another student or at you or something. And you have to figure out right there in the moment what you're going to do and how you're going to handle it. And that's why it's always really good to keep in touch with everything that's going on in the classroom. Right? So we need to split real quick here. Bailey, I'm going to turn you around so you can see these guys rather than the board right now. I need all the girls to line up over there, and I need all the boys to line up over there. Hi, baby. There we go. Just line up. Yeah, you don't need any chairs or anything like that. Awesome. And now line up according to height.
Oh man,
Oh,
I'm
shit.
gonna be over here. Really? You're gonna say that to me?
I'm just saying no.
Sorry.
This is what we want to do.
She is.
What? That's why the 80s are so popular. So, have I done anything wrong yet?
What's up?
Have I done anything wrong yet?
Yeah, you segregated us.
Yeah. What do you mean? You're not segregated. You're all in the same classroom.
I like to bring my book next to each other.
I think you're very outnumbered.
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Literally, we were relations. We first graduated about gender bias. When we like separated, we went to the college classroom and we said, girls on this side, guys on this side. But pretty much, I mean, it's just like, didn't say, hey, you're different, but it was like, separate because of your difference. So like,
Yeah, but the girls work so much better together than when you are mixed gender.
They do? Girls work better when they're
They
groups.
do. Really? They do.
I'm gonna make horrible sexist
I'm gonna say that even
joke.
louder so you believe me.
But like after 10 minutes, they're not fighting.
I don't know, guys, are you gonna fight if you have to work together? I don't think that's very important.
girls don't talk about their issues.
So what's one about
They
games though?
separated and they not be
I'm poking gender bias, I'm sorry.
So what else have I done wrong?
Well, we were just had a conversation how we're used to being on this end this time.
Because you're always
Short.
Short. You're short.
Yes, and these ladies on this side over are going, well, that's not happening. Look how funny they are. Look how short they are. Sorry.
So what else have I done that's wrong? Go ahead.
You kind of separated this out of the butt.
How did I do that?
You line us up by gender.
Okay.
And then,
Okay.
two things I don't really say a lot about is.
So what do you mean by that? If you are the student in the classroom, what takeaway do you take from that?
I guess I think about it from a teacher perspective. It's not really a creative way to divide up the class. And yeah, like I said, we just kind of categorize it by one. It's not very interesting.
Okay. What else am I saying about you guys though?
Insinuates that these differences are important, that
Why?
being ranked on height or separated by gender or something like that.
Am I taking into consideration anything that I know about your one, personalities, or two, your abilities, or any of that? So the takeaway from you as a student might be what? It doesn't matter what you can do, it simply matters what parts you have, or how tall you are, right? Is this a big deal? If I put you into groups right now, so we're going to take first 5, next 5, and since there's 5 over here, we're going to do that right there. And then you did a project together today. Does it really matter?
It might not seem like it, but I don't know, as a student, I would just be kind of complacent, like, oh, I'm just there. There's not really any specific reason why I was put in that group.
Would you say
That matters to
anything?
me. I probably won't say anything about it.
Would you say something if you were put with somebody who you thought wasn't going to do as much work as you?
That would probably help.
But the gender or the height wouldn't bother you nearly as much, you just kind of go along with it. Yeah. Are most of you in that boat? Just kind of go along with it? Not that big of a deal?
I feel like you can have a class where you have like 11 girls and 2 boys, and you're gonna have those groups that are all girls and stuff. So like, and if you want to randomize it, you can randomize it as much as you can. Then like, if you're randomizing, what does it matter? Now, if you're personally thinking, okay, well, this person wants to help this person, like, then it matters. But if you're doing it random, does it like?
You guys tell me.
Well, so last year in middle school, I wish she was in here. She's in the next section anyway. The first groups we were in was with another guy and two girls, and he was kind of flighty, and so he was talking about random things to me, and I'm too polite, so I was kind of whatever with engaging him. And one of the girls said, "Oh, I just love being with boys. We would get so much done." She was being facetious, of course. And then I was grouped with her for the big project, and obviously it was a different situation there. But if she was here, I'd actually call her out because we talked about it. It's an interesting thing to do.
It always bothered me in high school when we would just be put in a random group with no consideration of our abilities, work ethic, or anything like that. In my mom's English class in high school, she would always, for like big projects, she would sit down and group kids together who don't have a great work. It forces them to work, and she would group kids together who are usually pretty high achievers and actually put in the work. And taking in that consideration, I enjoy group projects way more. The other classes, it was hard to care when I knew that I was the only one who might be doing them.
All right, devil's advocate here. Is that any better than just putting girls together and boys together? Are you doing a bias stance as well by putting those students who are of the same ability level together? Do you guys remember in grade school, did you guys still have reading groups where you had the robins or the hawks or the eagles, those kinds of things? Where they were labeled by the bird based upon how fast they could read, by how fast the bird was? So how is that not biased?
Not saying it's not.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to escape bias in any way, shape, or form.
Explain that.
Well, because I don't know, you look at a student's, past projects, I guess, and you're kind of judging them based on that.
Okay.
It might not be this, like, if it's a whole year different, they might not be the same they were last year. But you're not grouping them up based on physical appearances.
So does it only matter if it's on those really overt things? Like, we don't have anybody of color in here, do we? No, we don't. What if we had that one African-American student who was there? Does it only matter if it's really blatant biasness? I don't disagree you can't avoid it. But where is the line drawn?
I think in terms of bias, is it like there needs to be bias almost? When I was doing that whole like research group project in my class last semester, there must need to be a bit of bias because there is blatant evidence that girls react differently than boys. Like, I mean, we see some differently. Like, so there needs to be. We can't like in that spectrum. We can't treat everyone the same. So there like almost needs to be bias. It's not letting it get in the way of like I might be awful group work. I mean, not do anything. But you can't just put me in the category of, oh, she's a girl, so she will do good work. So like it's not letting that bias get in the way of. Like,
did everybody hear her terminology, the words that she used? What did she say?
I'm stuck on seeing everyone saying. I'm thinking about human relations.
But it kind of, because what did you say? Girls react differently than boys. Do they?
Most of the time. See, that's why I'm saying like don't let the bias get away because not all the time. It's not all the time. So like I mean,
do you hear what we're doing now? You're categorizing an entire group based based upon gender, right? So what happens then if Trevor, not Trevor, what if all of a sudden he's having a bad day and he just bursts into tears that day in class? And Jacob here turns around and says, stop acting like a girl. Are you guys offended? Are you offended?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How come?
Obviously, when I was in school, coach would tell us we were running like girls, and I quit. That would never happen today. Well, it would. I think, and obviously you're not. There's no right or wrong answer to this, but you can't ignore gender differences. You just can't. It's impossible. It's stupid to do so. But you can't generalize everything either. I mean, generalizations are generalizations for real, for a reason.
Based upon something
we
that's
didn't just
valid.
get in a room and go, these people are this way because we said so. I mean, we act in ways that are socially, the idea we're supposed to act, blah, 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 we all know it's garbage. So to completely ignore everyone's differences and treat everyone the same is definitely not leveling the playing field, which is kind of the whole idea. We want to create a classroom, we want to create similar opportunities for everyone. That does not mean they're treating everyone the same. We talk about that a lot. You know, talk about like what your mom does. There are great pros to that, and there are some cons to that. The high achievers, I think, have a great opportunity to help their fellow students, right, raise themselves up some. So if you can commingle those groups, but that requires a conversation with those high achievers. Do not let your group let you do all the work. This is what I want your role to be. And that might be hidden from the rest of the group, but that high achiever, I think, typically can kind of handle that sort of responsibility. If you do group them based on ability, and you want these non-working people to have to work, I think that's a great method also. But then, of course, like what we talked about last week or something, you have to have different expectations for the group. You group 4 high achievers together, their project needs to be far and above the lower project. And that's not fair. That's not even playing field, but that's not treating them the same. But
I think she takes more in their work ethic, I guess, than their actual ability, like
sure.
How good they are in getting good grades
Sure.
and stuff like that. So if somebody struggles in the class but they work really hard, that makes a huge difference, and they will be put in a group with other people who generally work hard. And she has really good results. She doesn't make that obvious to the class, obviously, but she makes the groups. As far as they know, they're random.
And it's a very common practice.
She has seen really great results with it in the outcome of the projects that she makes.
If you expect, going back to what Jacob said here just a second ago, if you expect higher results from what you perceive to be high flyers than you do from the low flyers, aren't you being biased?
Oh, absolutely.
And how do we rectify that in the classroom, and is that a good thing to do? If you're going to expect more from those who perceive to be the high flyers, they may be a high flyer in this, but what if they're not a high flyer in the next thing you do?
Well, in the very unfortunate study that happened 20 years ago, because those kids suffered from it, but it's wildly important. Same ability level groups of kids. One teacher was told these are star students, other teachers told they're not star students, and their outcomes were vastly different based on the initial idea of what the teacher thought those kids' abilities were. So,
belief is one of the biggest problems of bias in the classroom today. When you are told that students are this, or that students do this, or that students achieve at this level, that's one of the biggest problems that we have in bias. You're absolutely correct. We cannot ignore gender. We can't. And you are going to have those students in the classroom who are higher flyers than others, that are going to be more motivated, that are going to be less motivated. Bias itself is not the problem. Recognizing that the bias exists is the problem. And we're going to deal with that today. So have a seat. I want to show you a video. Dun, 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 dun. This is so cool. How you doing, Bailey?
Good.
Can you see?
Yes.
All right, very cool. I'm going to stop this about halfway through.
I'm going to give you guys 3 numbers, a 3-number sequence, and I have a rule in mind that these 3 numbers obey.
And I want you to try to figure out what that rule is. But the way that you can get information is by proposing your own set of 3 numbers to which I will say, yes, that follows my rule, or no, it doesn't follow my rule. And then you can propose what you think the rule is. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so here are the 3 numbers. 2, 4, 8.
2, 4.
You don't need to continue the sequence, you can propose a totally different sequence, whatever you want to propose, and I will simply say yes or no, that follows my rule.
8. 16, 32.
16, 32, and
64.
those also follow my rule.
Okay.
What's the rule? What do you think?
Multiply by 2.
That is not my rule. That's not my rule. But you're allowed, if you want, propose 3 other numbers.
3, 6, 12.
3, 6, 12. 3, 6, 12 follows my rule.
10, 20, 40.
10, 20, 40.
That follows the rule.
You also multiply by 2.
I know. I know what you're doing. And yes, it follows my rule, but no, it's not my rule.
5, 10, 10, and 20.
Follows my rule.
100,
200. 400.
Follows my rule.
500, 1,000, 2,000.
Follows my rule.
Who has an idea? And if you've seen this, please don't answer. Okay. Go ahead. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh.
Number plus the number.
Number plus a number.
So like, if it's 2, 4, 8, 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 is 16.
Okay.
So it is essentially multiplying by 2, but we're just using addition to it.
Okay. Anybody else have an idea? And I'll tell you, because I know the answer to this, that yes, it follows the rule, but it is not the rule. Go ahead. That does follow the rule, but it is not the rule. Anybody else have an idea? How many of you are scared because you think you might be wrong?
Always.
Yeah, that's where I was last night too. I was screaming at the video. All right, you keep going.
Want me to keep going?
But do I just keep going? You can tell me.
No, I did it the wrong way. My approach is the wrong way.
You're totally fine, but you're approaching it the way most people approach it. Like, think strategically about this. You want information.
Yeah.
I have information. The point of the 3 numbers, right, is to allow you to figure out what the rule is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to give you the numbers that I don't think fits the sequence and then see what you say. So I'll say 2, 4, 7.
Fits my rule.
So whatever I propose is right.
So is your rule like you can propose any number? So the rule is anything we say is yes.
No. But you are on the right track now. Hit me with 3 numbers.
3, 6, 9.
Follows my rule.
Oh, that didn't fall wrong.
This is good rule.
5, 10, 15.
That follows my rule.
What? Oh. Really?
Yeah.
I don't believe this.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Follows the rule.
What about 79?
Follows. Yes, that follows the rule.
8, 16, 39.
Fits the rule.
All right, so what are you noticing about what the people are now saying? What are some of the things that they are mentioning as they are giving him examples now?
It was going up.
Huh?
So it was going up.
Okay, what else?
Doing some sort of pattern with it, it seems like.
Okay.
There's only 3 numbers.
Have you heard it doesn't fit my rule?
Yes.
So what are most of them already doing? This is what I think it is. So now I'm going to try to fit what I think it is to make it this rule, right? Okay, keep watching.
Excellent.
But we're no closer to the rule. Why should you get to the rule? How about 1, 7, 13? Follows the rule. 11, 12, 13.
How does this
Follows
make
the rule.
sense?
10,
I don't know how to do this.
Does not follow the rule.
Oh, so is it all in ascending order?
Booyah.
Okay.
Up top. Yes, first one's to get it. You guys nailed it. That's the rule. So that's the rule. Increase the numbers in increasing order. Numbers in ascending order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, 25. Doesn't matter. Any numbers in ascending order. I was inspired.
All right, so that's it. And you finally got it because you thought differently than what was going on, right? 3, 2, 1 doesn't fit it. He would have told them that was wrong because it wasn't in the right order. But listen to his explanation for this.
To make this video by the book The Black Swan by Nassim Taleb. Now, the black swan is a metaphor for the unknown and the unexpected. I mean, in the old world, the theory was that all swans were white. So each instance of a white swan would make you think, yeah, that theory's pretty good. But the point is, you can never prove a theory true. And in fact, when people found Australia, they realized that there were black swans. What was interesting for me was that everyone I spoke to came up with a rule very early on and then only proposed numbers that fit with that rule they were thinking. I was looking for you guys to propose a set of numbers that didn't follow your rule and didn't follow my rule. I was looking for you guys not to try to confirm what you believe. You're always asking something where you expect the answer to be yes, right? Like you're trying to get at it.
But instead you want to get the no.
You want to get the no because that's much more informational for you than the yes. Like if everything's being a yes.
That is really true once you say that.
That's what's so important about the scientific method. We set out to disprove our theories. And it's when we can't disprove them that we say, this must be getting at something really true about our reality. So I think we should do that in all aspects of our lives. If you think that something is true, you should try as hard as you can to disprove it. Only then can you really get at the truth and not fool yourself.
How does this apply to bias in the classroom?
Well, like in middle school, we have the team system.
Okay.
Yeah, so we have one student who's
Thank you, by the way.
a total hoop that like me. I know I was the subject matter of those meetings all the time. And if you have not had it yet, and you just instantly think, oh well, Jacob sucks, whatever, he's gonna go to the office anyhow, then that's what you think. But if you go, well, okay, I'm gonna make my own opinion, and you literally give me every chance to not disappoint you, then you're essentially not allowing someone else's beliefs to form.
Other thoughts? How does this apply to you? Go ahead.
I was thinking of trying to make students fit our rule. We're grouping them based on a definition we have, or we get their assignment, and we're like, okay, well, I know this person's smart, therefore, when we should really be trying to just hear all the preconceived notions we have about them.
Can we do that?
But you can try with like blind grading, cover up their name, grade it, and then help a little bit.
Help a little bit. Trying to think of how to ask this. So if you have a classroom full of students and you group them based upon whatever you are believing they could be grouped as, ability, gender, height, birthdays, alphabet, doesn't matter. How do you avoid the bias when the bias is so ingrained within us? He's right? And everything that has been said is an accurate statement so far. In the fact that we look at things and our belief system follows them. I can look at a student and say, they're not doing good today, they're sleepy. Am I right? Could be. What am I basing that on? My past experience, right? I'm basing it on what I've seen previously, based on what I'm seeing now, and it may or may not be accurate. But how do we get rid of that in the classroom? And then do what?
And then like see, like if you see your bias, and then gosh, I need an example. Like you see your bias and you think, oh, those are stupid. Anyway, so if you're like really terrible person and you're like, all boys are stupid, and then you find one smart boy you think is really smart, then you're like, oh, so I've been proven wrong or something like that.
Well, you probably won't think that. You'll probably think, oh, he's the exception.
Go ahead, Tessa.
I feel like you have to find like ways to group students that get around that, like that's get around your own bias. Like one thing that Mr. Schneider did in Elkton was instead of him choosing the groups, he opened up Soccer-Tip and had everybody take like a one-question quiz about what type of storms they were interested in or which one like appealed to them the most. And then he
like group them up based on interest. And so that took it out of his hands to like be biased towards these students about who's gonna work well together. Or, you know, if like they have too many girls in a group, you know, and then it's completely up to the students and it removes that layer.
Good. Other thoughts?
I think maybe one way to like initialize that there is a bias, or not necessarily get rid of it, but like the example you used with like Sleepy Kid, it's like finding the truth about what it is. Like don't judge a book by its cover. Instead of assuming like maybe you have a past bias of boys up sitting late playing video games, you know, not doing work. Like maybe his parents were up fighting. You know, finding that bias, finding that truth to it, that's why maybe that can take away the initial, like, just sleep in that class just because.
Okay. Let's test your theories here for a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Terrible at this. This is that geometric thing. There we go. It's backwards. All right. Ready? You have two students there. Just look at them for a minute or so. Nice looking kids, aren't they? All right, so I am going to ask you the question that you can see on the screen up there. What did you notice first about them? Go ahead.
And on the right looks like Justin Trudeau mixed with Ringo Starr.
Oh, right, I did not expect that answer. Looks really young. They're both smiling.
They both have perfect smiles. Okay, like one. Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Immediately I assumed gender, and then I assumed white. I changed it to just like skin.
I think that's probably the most honest answer so far, is that he saw gender first. Can we avoid that? No. So when you go then to the answers of that you notice the smiles, that he looks like Justin Trudeau mixed with Ringo Starr. I can see that, I guess. That he looks young. How do we get to that point where that's our first reaction? That it's not a boy and a girl. Now I'm going to ask you $1 million question. Which of those two is in charge of a college organization? And a big one, like, you know, the student council president, we call that in college. Or the guy who, or the girl who's going to put on Hobo Day. Which of those two is going to be the one?
I assume A, just because the background is, I don't know, just from the background of the picture, it looks like a professionally taken picture. And that the B looks more, it's taken outside. And it seems more informal to me, I guess. Okay.
Okay, I think the opposite with that. I feel like A looks like I'm gonna go and put you behind a wall or this and quick take it and be done. B looks more professional to me, like someone, a professional photographer came in, they did the portrait mode, like I mean. I think the opposite with the photos.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. That he looks more professional, but it looks more professional like it's a stock photo, whereas A looks like the crappy, oh, this is our student, whatever. That we,
Yeah,
that's what we expect to see.
That's exactly.
Other thoughts? My generation's going to go to her. And anybody can tell me why. You've got a lot of my generation out there still teaching. These girls always seem to be more organized, and we'll put them in that position because they know they're going to. Interesting. At least she's more organized to get herself a haircut. Which is what a lot of my generation would say, his hair's too long. You can't be in charge of something if your hair's too long.
Seriously?
Seriously.
You're like 48.
Yes.
all the guys have stupid long hair?
No.
When were you in high school?
87 I graduated.
Long hairs are pretty cool, they're just like.
There you go. There you go. And I also want you to think about the conversation that you started to have, because somebody went immediately to the professional look of the picture, which then diverts away from people who are in the picture, right? And then everybody kind of went along that way. That's a safe space, right? All right. I need my clickers. All right, look at these two. This one's an easy one.
Who's more in charge of that? Maybe it's fair.
And it is the first thing you see. You see the gender and you see the color. See,
I didn't see the color. I saw how the guy on the right doesn't have his belt. Looks like he's crooked. His shirt's not too right size. He doesn't look like he has the right size pants. Like that's the first thing I saw. Go ahead.
I think you guys are lying. Everyone saw race immediately. That's the first thing you saw.
And then once you see the race, then you look at the way he's dressed, this little sloppy looking, and then you start to put those two things together. This comes from an implicit survey that's being done out in Pennsylvania. And in reality, that's what happens is you start to see single individuals who are of color, dressed, and he's not dressed poorly. I've seen lots of really great looking, he just needs to, yeah, exactly. He just needs he needs a woman in his life to adjust it, right? A little biased that way too. So when you look at that, then you start to make those connections. And so now you look at her, she looks very put together. She looks very harsh. Which of those two are you going to give the job to?
Did they interview the same?
So it matters. You get the job in what degree of seconds? Yeah, it is. It's a very short amount of time. And it's all based upon the way you look. And they will look at him differently if they see him as being less than fine-tuned. He could interview much better than her. He could be better prepared for the job. That implicit idea is ingrained in us so deeply that we still do that, right? He's right. We look at him, we see the color first. I don't think any people are racist. I don't think any people would say he's black, you're not getting the job. But it is the first thing that we see. So if we're seeing it every day, if we're have that implicit idea going on, all right. I love this one. Which of those two has more money? Everybody's looking at each other.
I wasn't expecting that to be a question. I wasn't either. Because honestly, neither of them
Why is he standing?
I do have to ask the question, what would it look like if you thought they had money?
I don't know, I guess. Dressed in jeans and sweatshirt and I don't know, plaid shirt, khaki shorts. I don't know. Just the way that they're dressed,
For me, the clothes were an afterthought. It was they're both men, one's white, one's black. Guy on the left is he homosexual?
I don't know.
That's the first thing that came to my mind. Straight.
Is it because of the stance or his clothes?
Stance.
Interesting.
I literally thought of a photographer. I don't know, because we used to have pictures taken, and she kept telling me to put my chin down. And that was personal experience. I just brought that. I probably gay too.
Like immediately I thought like gay and straight, and then I thought again, I was like, his posture, and chasing back to my Spanish teacher, because his posture was always a little weird like that to me. So, but he was like completely straight. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's changed.
I have a homosexual friend. Literally had no freaking clue. No same clue. And like for the last year that we were essentially living around each other, he was like, well, I don't care anymore, people know. And so we'd go out and have some beer, and he was blatantly checking dudes out. It's like so not even on my radar anymore. Didn't even. Then we told him they're all.
Any bias in the statement that we often say, or that you hear people say?
No, yes.
No, right before that you said it.
I couldn't even tell.
Yeah, well, I have a homosexual friend. All right? I know a black guy. Right? Those are things that teachers will often say, I can't be racist. I have a homosexual friend.
I never said that was.
No. But it's those statements that we make that we just never even think about in our society, because a lot of times it doesn't matter, right? But, so go to grouping in here, and go off what you guys, initially thought was that the guy on the left was homosexual. So if you go off that in the classroom, how many teachers would put him in a girls group because he'll be okay with that? Or they will avoid putting him in the boys group because the boys might not be okay.
Is that anyone on your guys' radar? Probably young. 21. Like,
I think
is homosexuality even something that is any kind of concern to you guys at all?
Huge. It's
I'm
a
not
huge,
asking on school.
yeah, it's,
It's like great, because I mean, you obviously think about it in like middle school and stuff, you're gonna have really rowdy groups in your 8th grade, but the homosexual one with a bunch of jocks. Because you put them in those groups. So like it is concerning at times when you like look at it that way. Because I know at least in my school, I'm going on from personal experience, which makes me biased. But like we had one gay person in school, and he didn't dare put him in one of the other groups that was with jocks, because he probably get beat up. Like, but it was different times.
Even if you really ignore those things that you initially see about your students, you're gonna completely miss something more often than not, I think. Because a lot of times, the way someone looks something, it's not always true. But you can't just look at a class and see them all exactly the same, because you will miss something.
correct. So where does bias matter? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not good or bad to have bias, but certain things that you can pick up on. You're like, wow, this person, their clothes are always kind of tattered. It doesn't seem like they're showering. Like that's, yeah, you might assume that they're poor, but that might be something we need to know if they're not really focusing in school, because maybe they're hungry. That's so kind of what was your name? I'm sorry.
Ashley.
Kind of what Ashley was saying. It can be really important.
It's just important not to jump to conclusions necessarily. Observe. Talk to them.
Yeah.
Those kinds of things. That is going to make a big difference in getting to know who they are.
Good.
Okay, I think there's like a huge negative connotation of bias in any form, it's bad. It's not necessarily bad. Bias sometimes is just noticing the differences. Like this person is different from this person because of sometimes it's just saying these two people are different. They're not the same, which you shouldn't go into a classroom thinking every single one of you are the same. I'm going to treat every single one of you the exact same, because that is how you're not a student fail.
It comes down to respect, treating them as human beings as opposed to treating them as their stereotype or what you perceive them to be, right? That overt biasness, and you will still see it in some classrooms, you may see it in some of your observations, that overt biasness is not okay. Hey Timmy, I know you're gay, what do you think of my outfit today? Not cool, right? Being very blatant in, okay, so all of the black students are always grouped together, all of the white students are always grouped together. That's pretty overt biasness that's going on in the classroom. You guys are dead on. You can't avoid it. You can't be afraid of it. And you can't be afraid of noticing. It's that other side of the spectrum where you do it intentionally or you are not aware of your own brain. That's where reflections come in so much. Hey, you're going to be teaching Spanish, right? When you have taco day? Yeah. No. Today, even those kinds of things are really, you know, having a taco day at school is considered to be not cool because it's the connection that Mexicans eat tacos.
I love it.
I love tacos, right?
Have a buffet of different platters of different countries.
Right.
And our version of tacos is completely different than
Oh, if you eat true Mexican food, it makes Taco Bell. Sorry, that's not.
It amazes me the crap we worry about when we're so high on Maxwell's triangle. The shit we worry about in this country is so off the rocker.
Yes.
Christ almighty,
What do you mean by that?
well, in general, our country is very, very broad because obviously there's a lot of problems. We're really high on Maxwell's triangle. You don't think more are the kid and the parents that don't know where the ocean is, don't know the city. They don't care if we're having tacos. They don't care if we're having Mexican day.
Right. It's just we get food.
The people that have all of that stuff taken care of and now are finding themselves and are getting upset because we're having taco day. What does that matter in the grand scheme of things? I'm open to arguing on this.
Well, I think there's definitely overreach. I think we're looking at that right now. I think that some things have gone too far, but like you could say the same thing about, well, why should we even care about the gay kid or the transgender person because you're getting fed? Well, it is a problem because the suicide rate is, 17 times higher for those kids. So they might be getting their basic needs, but we might have to give extra attention to those and be aware of it. Now, yeah, I completely agree. Like, yeah, tacos,
Not a big deal.
probably not going to put it down to school, but noticing the differences.
Yeah. And there are no doubts we have to be very transgender.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now. 10 years ago, my dad tried to do a unit on world history. You can't talk about world history without talking about so this can't, I think, right? I mean, a lot of what's formed in world history comes from these things. He specifically did want to do Boston Faith. I mean, he was hot blood at the time, so he got a lot of flack for it. And he actually ended up losing the job. But it just seems like each few years there's a new thing, super hot button. It's not important, but yeah, it's so consuming in a way that you have a lot of I think.
Yeah, you're both speaking truth in both things, in both those situations. And you being in the school district, it also depends on the school district that you are in. If you are in a small school district, the chance of you having a student who is not heterosexual is rare. I mean, they just, because the percentages, you have so few students that the percentages aren't there. But you always have to be cognizant of the fact that those students also need to be empathetic towards. They need to learn how to, and as teachers, you need to foster that in the classroom. I did go through those lesson plans that were submitted for those assessments and the objectives and the aligning that we did. If you have a box around it, cool beans, you did a really good job. If I put a line through something, it's something that either needs to be eliminated or modified in some way. And then we'll pick that all up on Monday. Highlighting. Oh, did I highlight them? I highlighted them. Those are good. Yes. Oh, PDFs I put box around. That's how it works. PDFs I put boxes around, and the others I highlighted. You guys did a good job. Did a very nice job. Hey, Bailey. Do you have any questions?
I was gonna just talk to you about when we should meet again or try to meet for.
Sure. Just send me an email when you're either back or when you think you're going to come back. We'll set up a time.
I am back, but.
Oh, you are back.
Yes, yep, but I can't.
Fun.
Yeah, but I can't come to our class.
It happens, right?
Yeah.
So when would you like to meet?
Let me send you an email so I can check first.
Good. Yeah. You look like you need to put your head down on the pillow and take a nap.
Yeah.
I hear you. Yeah. Take care of yourself and let us know what we can do. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.